One news that was a bit of an embarrassment this week was the covering up of some slum dwellings with what appeared to be white sheets on a stretch of road between Ahmedabad and Sabarmati when the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson came calling. But don't we all do some sprucing up when a guest is expected at home? A bit of cleaning up, moving furniture in order, etc. The point is, covering up is just a short-term measure. For a long-term solution, one has to come out of denial and address the issue. Think of it, which country does not have something to hide or be embarrassed about? Boris Johnson's UK has perhaps a million reasons to be embarrassed about its centuries-old British Raj in India. Germany, for example, would be eternally embarrassed about what it did to the Jews. And the United States may want a cloth as large as the oceans to cover up what it did to the slaves, how it's treating blacks even in the 21st century, and its numerous blunders in countries from Vietnam to Iraq to Afghanistan. In comparison, India should feel much less apologetic or sheepish. The point is, we have many things to drum up our fame and some other things to bring us shame. Promote the former, address the latter. But first, the things that we should feel elated about right now. 1. Our exports. India has entered the top 10 exporting countries list with goods and services exports worth more than $670 billion in 2021-22. The best thing, a major chunk of that export basket is engineering goods. India as an engineering export powerhouse? Yes, believe it. Or let's put it this way. China, the US, the Netherlands and Belgium are happy to import high-tech, precision manufactured engineering goods from India. Smartphone exports from India are in the region of 420 billion rupees in 2021-22, from a mere 13 billion rupees in 2017-18, or a growth of more than 3,000% in just 4 years. Remember, 2021-22 was also a pandemic hit year. And the target for 2030 is $1 trillion in merchandise exports. 2 are millennials. In this era when software is considered superior to hardware, data is the new oil, and the biggest resource of all is human resource. There is no other country as resource rich as India, with a humongous 440 million millennials. That's more than the combined populations of the US and the UK. In other words, India has more youth than all the people in the US and the UK put together. Number 3 are unicorns. India is currently placed 4th in the world in the number of unicorns, with 96 of them. Unicorns are startups with a valuation of $1 billion or more. For context, India is somewhere behind the US and China in the number of unicorns. The US has 1,036 unicorns, China has 252, and the UK has 100. And the Economic Times, quoting investment fund Iron Pillar, says India will have more than 250 unicorns by 2025. Such is the unmistakable wealth of human resource and expertise that we're sitting about today that we could miss or even deny some of our real concerns. One point of concern is the number of youths taking to violence, showing utter disrespect to authority, or harboring seeds of the shameful caste system. The examples stare at us pan-India, from Delhi, Kerala or Uttar Pradesh, just to mention 3. As Prema Sridevi of The Probe reported, many teenagers were in the forefront of the Jahangirpuri violence in Delhi last week.
Take a look at this video. Children can be seen pelting stones and a man is brandishing a pistol.
Just who would have taught them the lessons to hate people from other religions? Down south in Kerala, in Kottayam district, a group of students was seen shouting abuses at the teachers at the top of their voices. The students might have had some grouse against their teachers, but what sort of education would have prepared them to call their teachers dogs in full public glare in front of cameras? Can we simply dream that the NEP or the new education policy will have a cure for this? And in Rai Bareli, Uttar Pradesh, a class 10 Dalit boy was thrashed by a group of youth and made to lick the foot of one of them. Good upbringing, my foot. We've known of the barbarity of the caste system over generations, but to know that it is so deeply ingrained even in our 21st century youth is a distressfully painful learning. In the internet era, there's hardly anything that one can cover up. When we use white sheets to cover up in Gujarat, the media in England will scream it, even recounting the time when we built a wall during Donald Trump's visit in 2020. Every nation will have its own collection of black spots it would wish no one would see. But the fact is, there is no white sheet that can cover up real life problems, like the way we are currently squabbling over what to wear, what to eat, or what language to speak. Denying them is of no use. Addressing them is the way out. After all, there is no white sheet that can cover up these problems, is there? This video is dedicated to a couple, Ruji Kalra and Ashish Mohapatra, perhaps the first husband-wife team anywhere in the world to build separate unicorns or startups with $1 billion valuation. Kalra and Mohapatra met while working with McKinsey, and their startups are Off Business, a raw material supplier, and Oxiso, a digital lending startup. Over the next 6 months to 2 years, both ventures could go public. Best wishes.